What's happening, everybody? Christian Pederson here in the SBLive Sports Studio, welcoming you back to another Oregon High School live stream where we are talking about basketball in the football season. I know, I get it. You're not necessarily here for basketball yet. It's still the football playoffs, and we thank you, everybody, for tuning in to join us right now. We are going to be talking on this one about the Hardwood Invite, the 2023 high school basketball tournament going on at Parkrose High School, December 16th through 20th. We're going to be joined in just a few minutes by Ryan Menten, the tournament organizer. He's going to talk to us about a bunch of the teams. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on this live stream. We're going to be talking, again, about some high school basketball upcoming in the month of December here in Oregon. We're going to be joined in just a minute by Ryan Menten, the tournament director from HoopSource. He's going to be here to break down all of the teams that have been invited as we go. We should be joined by Ryan Menten from HoopSource. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us. Let me know when you can hear me, when you can see me, when we got you all dialed in here. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. We got a lot of waves coming in from the fans. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can't see you, but it's okay. I mean, as long as I can hear you, I think we're good to go. But I can hear you. I just can't see you.
The Oregon audience is probably being honest with all of us. It's better the less of me that gets seen and the more of just this basketball that we talk about. So, okay, we told everybody, apologies for in the middle of football playoffs coming back to talk about basketball, but this is a big important story because this is huge teams that are going to be packing into the Parkrose High School gym from December 16th to the 20th for the Hardwood Invite. And you are here to let us all know the teams that are involved. And I got to say, normally when I'm doing show prep and I got a list of teams or whatever that I'm going to be talking about, as I make my way down, I put the more significant ones in bold or italics and something and literally by the time I got to the bottom of the list that I was sent for this tournament, everybody was in bold or italics or something like that. You have a heck of a lineup coming this year. So tell the people as much or as little information as you want to tell them about this field that we got going on this year.
Absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of folks, when they're running an event, they get on here and they're really excited. You know, obviously, that's always a norm, and they're always talking about how good the event is or how loaded it is. Truly, this is no different. This event will be the most loaded, and it's only in a short the tournament's only ran for 3 years. In its short 3-year span, it will be already the most loaded field that we've seen throughout the event. And it's exciting, right? It's actually coming to Portland, Oregon this year. Something new. The last 2 years, it's actually been ran in Seattle, Washington, and Auburn, Washington, respectively. So to have it here, the roots of it here in Portland, Oregon, we're super stoked about it. And we actually, you can check everything out actually at hardwoodinvite.com. So that's the team headquarters and the event headquarters right there. Pre-sale tickets are actually up online as well. And this is the day for the team reveal. A lot of folks have heard of the event. They might not be able to solidify which teams are in and who's out, but that's why we're here, is actually to share that and to share, obviously, this event experience with the city of Portland, the state of Oregon, the entire Northwest. Again, moving from Seattle to Oregon or to Portland this year, it's going to be a great event. It's loaded with talented players, great coaches, and just another great Hardwood Invite experience.
You mentioned this is the third year of the Hardwood Invite. It feels like you have done like an Evel Knievel up off the ramp shooting it rather than like linear growth. You are growing big and getting some big names. It's going to be great for everyone, like they said, to get the chance for tickets. We are knocking on all of the wood and preventing any weather-related disasters between now and the start of the tournament. And I'll take the media curse if that ends up happening. I do apologize for predicting the weather poorly 2 months out. But I'm looking at this list. You got 5 states represented here: Oregon, Washington, Florida, Arizona, Colorado. I mean, so yes, this is the Pacific Northwest is being well represented here, but this is a national tournament now. So you guys have reached this larger scale. Do you want to give the people a sample of some of the teams? Do you want to make our list all the way down and reveal all of them? What can we get from you tonight?
Let's start from that with the out-of-state teams, because obviously I know that's what really gets, kind of sometimes, tilts the meter a little bit, right? Everybody wants to see whether it's another event, that's happening, around holiday time, or whether it's the, Iolani Classic in Hawaii. These events have a reputation of having very solid out-of-state competition coming in, right? And we've done no less here. We've brought in Smoky Hills from Colorado. They've got just a lineage of great basketball players. This year's no different. They actually have the #1 ranked 2026 guard, if you want to call it. He's 6'6", and he's the #1 ranked guard actually in the state of Colorado, Carter Vasquez. He's going to be a lot to handle. And then you got Ray Daniels from Southridge in Florida, not to be confused with Southridge in Oregon. But Southridge from Florida, they got the Ray Daniels kid. They've got a couple, head toppers, all Miami, all-Dade County players there. And then you got, obviously, Rancho Solano from Arizona. So having Rancho Solano come in, the prep school there, they've always had, obviously very solid teams coached by Coach Aaron Trigg, who's a great coach. And I know that he's going to have his team ready to rock and roll, obviously, when they come in. So having those out-of-state players and that influence, yes, that helps make the event even better and even greater. And this year will not disappoint. We are going to be bringing to the city of Portland, state of Oregon, some high flyers, some very, very good basketball players from those surrounding outside national type programs. And you're talking about ranked players, great talent, and good coaches and great programs. So we're excited to put them to the test with what we have the best to offer here in Washington and Oregon.
I'll remind everybody we're talking about the 2023 Hardwood Invite Tournament. We're joined by Ryan Menten. He's the tournament organizer. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us. I'll remind everybody December 16th through the 20th at Parkrose High School in the East Portland suburbs, as it says in parentheses on my show notes. I don't know. At this point, everyone just types things into Google Maps rather than it needs a descriptor of that magnitude. But we'll remind everybody that even though it's high school football playoffs, this is a tournament that is big enough and important enough that you got to start talking about it right now. You've talked about the out-of-state. You've talked about you want to play the best to be the best. So let's talk about the local teams and the in-state teams that are going to get the chance to play against the best. Who you got coming from Oregon? Yeah,
and just to reiterate, I mean, this event going back, and not to throw too much hype on it because, there's obviously high expectations.
Throw it all.
All the hype and expectations, I will tell you this. It will be for the December 16th to 20th in the Western region. It will be the #1 event. It's a top 25 ranked tournament in the country already. In year 1, we achieved that. And in year 3, I think we've kind of gone up the ladder in those rankings as a national tournament. And it's just going to be fantastic. So going from the out-of-state teams now to the in-state teams that we were able to lock in. You can't start in-state, meaning Washington and Oregon. I'm kind of lumping those together, even though they're 2 different states. But starting right with Roosevelt, right? The Rough Riders will be in this year, and we already know about Terrance Hill, but Roosevelt was the runner-up last year to Garfield. Garfield had a star-studded class, with Jalen Stewart, who's now playing at UConn. They fell short in the final, but new head coach DeMar Lawson will have those guys ready. You've got Chance White, you've got Utrilla Morris, and Terrance Hill kind of representing the state of Oregon in the Hardwood Invite. And I think it starts right there. And then you've obviously, if you want to continue to go down there, we've got, South Medford will be another feisty team led by Jackson Whalen and Coach Whiteman down there at South Medford. They're coming in, and they'll be ready to rock and roll. So we're excited, obviously, to have them. The host team, Parkrose, and I think a lot of people maybe look past them, but they're going to be right there for 5A state contention. I've talked to a lot of coaches. Obviously, Donnell Morgan has been there for a number of years now. He does a heck of a job at Parkrose, and I've talked to all the other 5A coaches, and they're scared a little bit. Scared maybe it's a strong word, but they know exactly what Parkrose and what Coach Morgan's going to be able to bring, obviously, this year as well. Some other teams
need hype and hyperbole. So scared is great. Get the biggest and most dramatic descriptive verbs we can get going at this point.
Absolutely. No, that's a great, I love that. That's fantastic. And then we round out, we gave some opportunities, to some teams to some programs that have had strong showings and maybe are a little bit younger, but they're going to be, they're well coached. That's one thing we look for, is having well coached programs. And with well coached programs, you're always going to get well coached teams. And that means, they're going to be ready to play. So Coach Alderman over there at Tigard has a few players. I know he's got a younger program, but he's excited about the future of his program, as well as Coach Sean Kelly at LaSalle. Oregon City, it's led by point guard Dion Best. They're going to be ready. And then you got a young, younger coach, Matt Taylor, down there at Canby, who's going to bring his group, and they'll be ready to rock and roll as well. So that kind of rounds out, obviously, the Oregon teams. And then, obviously heading up to Washington, it starts right off the bat with, 4-star Jacob Cofie out of Eastside Catholic. And they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, obviously, in this tournament. They played in the Hardwood Invite 2 years ago, in the inaugural year of the Hardwood Invite. Obviously, Brent does a very good job with his team. They're going to be ready to rock and roll. They've got guards to go around, to surround Jacob to be ready to make a state title run, but also a very strong run in the Hardwood this year. Going down the list, obviously, in no particular order, you look at, Southwest Washington's going to be well represented in 2 powerhouse schools, Skyview and Camas, Washington. Skyview's got a couple, high flyers, and Coach Gruler's excited about his group. And then, obviously, you look at Camas, they're built around their team. They've got a strong, Ryan Jefferson's got a strong, chemistry build with his team. And it all obviously leads with and starts with Beckett Curry, who obviously is a strong Division I standout recruit. And, he's going to be ready to rock and roll. He's actually been in the Hardwood Invite the last 2 years. This is his 3rd year. As well as South Medford, who's been in it the last year. So South Medford and Camas, they've been in the Hardwood the last 2 years. This will be a mark their 3rd year, and Camas doesn't. They obviously are no different. Another scary team will be Annie Wright. And the prep school up north in Tacoma, they've got the Martin Coppinger kid. He obviously last year was not able to play due to some foot problems, obviously injuries. He's going to be ready to rock and roll. The former Rotary, Seattle Rotary player is going to be ready to just torch the nets. We already know that. And then they've obviously got the Harshman point guard, the Harshman kid. And he's phenomenal. He's just a special point guard. We watched him, blossom in our event last year. Remember, Annie Wright lost 1 game last year, and it was in our event. It was actually in our Hardwood Invite. They ended up coming up through and winning the consolation bracket. They lost in the first round. And so they lost 1 game, and then they ran the table and won the state title. So they'll be very, very good. They've obviously got players around him. Prosser is another, one to look out for. They've got the McClure kid. He's obviously an all-state quarterback or football player, but also a very skilled basketball player. So I know that they're having high expectations with him as well. So, we'll have to, see kind of how it unfolds. There's going to be, with it moving to Portland, there's going to be this, this jostling between Oregon and Washington. But again, when you bring in the out-of-state national high powerhouse programs with the, obviously ranked classes that they're bringing in, it's going to be made to be a great event. The other team continuing with Washington is Davis from Yakima. They're always solid. They had a solid run last year in the set all the way to the semifinals. Cesar Hernandez, another Seattle Rotary player, is just phenomenal. He's a great player. He played obviously in the offseason with Beauchamp Elite, with some of the better basketball players in the Northwest, and I know that the coaches over there in Davis are going to be ready to rock and roll as well.
You occupy a certain special stratosphere when a team taking a loss at your tournament is what motivates them to go on to a state championship run, because it's just that much heavy hit, that many haymakers, heavy hitters throwing big punches against each other at every single twist and turn. So we'll remind you guys one more time, the 16th through the 20th, that's the dates. Go to hardwoodinvite.com. Coach, he said, you can already get tickets. You can get all the merch. You can get all the info you need. highschool.si.com/Oregon. We're going to have plenty of coverage leading up to it. What are any other details that people need to know now on announcement day?
Really the biggest thing is, what we've tried to do with this event the last few years is we've made it we've made it family friendly. Obviously, there's going to be basketball heads in the gym. There's going to be a lot of hype in the gym. We've got media. We're bringing on Pro Insight this year. So Pro Insight will be covering it alongside, Scorebook Live. And I know Sports Illustrated and some of the partners that you have. Elite Eye Media. SS Visuals will be there in the house. This thing is going to sparkle, obviously, on the forefront. There's going to be a lot of people in the gym, a lot of people involved. But we just want to remind everybody that, obviously, grab the kids, grab your families. It's an opportunity during the break, during the holidays, in order to get out and watch some great basketball. And like I said, no better spot, no better place than in the city of Portland, right? The Rose City, obviously, where a lot of the talent you can be found. And we are here to showcase that talent and really provide an experience. That's the key word, experience. With the Hardwood Invite provided by HoopSource Basketball. So that's really, if I were to tell everybody, get out there, support these young athletes, and come see tomorrow's future stars. That's the deal.
I mean, honestly, for the cost to distance ratio, you could go sit at the very, very top level of an NBA game and not see this kind of basketball up close for the, take the whole family, super affordable, great day, great afternoon. How you not want to go pick up some Voodoo Donuts and go watch some good basketball for a couple of days or something like that?
Absolutely. There's plenty for the city to offer, that's for sure. And this tournament will not disappoint. This thing is going to be, like I said, and again, hype on hype. This thing is the most loaded that it's been in the most loaded field yet. And we're excited to deliver that. And as well as provide an opportunity to the city of Portland, state of Oregon, to showcase, obviously, what the Northwest region's all about, especially with these powerhouse out-of-state teams coming in.
It's absolutely a blast. Thank you very much, Ryan, for being with us, folks. This is, like I said, this is the tip of the hype iceberg. We are just announcing the teams today. You got about a month plus of great coverage coming your way that is going to just inundate you with reason after reason after reason that this is something you need to add to your December break watch list to go check this tournament out. Thank you very, very much. Hit the people with the website one more time, and then we will say goodbye.
Yep. Check it out, hardwoodinvite.com. Very simple. Hardwoodinvite.com, hardwoodinvite.com. That's where you can get all the information. There will have, obviously, live integrated stats, media, social rankings. There will actually post this. We're actually going to be posting welcome videos for each team, another special experience we provide. And then, obviously, I know you're going to probably remind everybody on your platform, but next week, we were planning to do a bracket reveal, and that will be exciting because then everybody will know their matchups and everybody can start really planning on the sessions that they would want to do.
That's where you get to start the real hype. That's where you get to do the scoreboard watching and start figuring out who's getting on Twitter and making some mistakes, getting the wrong teams a little too excited. Oh, man, I am ready for that. I am here for that. I cannot wait for those brackets to come out so that I can promptly rip mine in half after it gets busted in the first round of action. Thank you so much for being on with us, folks. Hardwoodinvite.com. We'll talk to you guys soon. We'll have you covered between here and now for everything you need.
Thanks, guys.